Section 6 of Captain Billy's Whiz-Bang, Volume 2, Number 18, March 1921. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Captain Billy's Whiz-Bang, Volume 2, Number 18, March 1921, by W. H. Fawcett. Cherubim of Hell. Reverend Morrill, the Whiz-Bang's fire-eating gospelite writer, is now touring the West Indies for this magazine. Remember the Martinique articles written after his recent tour to that sinful island for the Whiz-Bang? His present trip presages some more hot sermons. In the April issue, Reverend Morrill's story of Parisian life, Midnight Madness, will appear in the Whiz-Bang. Later, during the summer months, he will deliver to our readers a carload of dynamite. Watch for his explosion. By Reverend Golightly Morrill, pastor of the People's Church, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Helen never raised more hell in Troy than the island of St. Lucia did in the West Indies. It is some 250 square miles, is volcanic, and has been in constant warlike upheaval. Our ship, the Caracat, has arrived here, where for 150 years the French and English have cut each other's throats. From 1605, when English settlers landed in the Olive Blossom from Barbados and were massacred in less than 2 months, others were smoked out by natives burning red pepper, to 1814, when the isle was finally ceded to Great Britain. St. Lucia has been seeded with hate and borne a harvest of death. In 3 years, from 1793 to 1796, England lost 80,000 soldiers, including 40,000 dead. This topped the loss of Wellington's army from all causes during the Peninsular War. Add to this yellow fever, malaria, the deadly fer-de-lance snake, hurricanes, earthquakes, bush bandits, and runaway slaves the Revolution set free, who kidnapped, ravished, maimed, burned, and robbed. And St. Lucia's cup of gall and gore is running over, as are the wasps, centipedes, tarantulas, mosquitoes, and scorpions over the people. This was a Pandora's, not a Christmas box. I wonder that all the inhabitants are not like the mad woman who rushed out of the insane asylum, howling at us as we entered Castries harbor. St. Lucia was a martyred maid in the time of Diocletian, and lost her money and her eyes. The island bearing her name has suffered outrage and martyrdom, and may well invoke her as the patroness of the poor and blind, for its inhabitants are afflicted with poverty and eye disease. The landlocked harbor is the military key to the West Indies. Marne and Vigy are striking fortifications, and historic hilltops in the background have been bathed in the blood of those climbing the cavalry of death. They were drenched in mist and rain when we docked. Coal and not carnage is the leading industry now. Instead of shambles, all is soot. Ships come for fuel, not to fight. As at Nagasaki, Jamaica, St. Thomas, and Martinique, women do the coaling. In place of King Lee's poem, Men must work and women must weep, it is women must work and men must sleep. The coal wenches are amazing Amazons. How they wiggled and waltzed with coal baskets on their heads, sweating, swearing, singing snatches of French songs, and swaying to the music of a carnival band that came down to the boat and acted like madcaps strolling players standing on heads and hands. The girls made a few cents a basket. If one greedily ran ahead out of turn, there was a switchman to lash her back in line. What coal-black caryatids! Wonderful models, not of manners or morality, but muscles that would give a sculptor fits. Sure, Michelangelo would have wrestled with them, but Ben Cellini would have thought twice before he dared throw them about, as he did his model, whom he grabbed by the hair, kicked and mauled so she was compelled to anoint her wounds with bacon fat, while he stood around and larfed. These husky, dusky damsels would have brained him with a lump of coal, thrown him in the sea, or mopped up the island with him. This holiday work gave the begrimed beauties extra money. They like work, and carry their burdens on, not in their heads, the baskets often weighing 150 pounds each. Streets of Castries are laid out in right angles, and many of the population were laid out in the streets at all angles. Every old soak fills up. I saw a black man and woman stagger along the walk, fall in the gutter, make love and wallow there like pigs. In the outskirts, darky women were dragging their drunk lovers, brothers or husbands, through the mud by heels or head, or spreading them out like clothes to dry on doorsteps or window-sills. Their squalor was stentorious and stercoraceous. Castries was a medley of noise, music, and mud. The only Bible commandment followed was the 11th, "Thou shalt get stewed." The patron saint of the city must be Saint Amant, the French 17th century bacchanalian bard, who received inspiration for his drinking songs by imbibing enormous quantities of spirits, which resulted in ebullitions like la debauche. Alcaeus said, "Wine in truth," and it was a very naked truth we saw in the casino on the hill. Yes, it was quite orgiferous. What is an orgy? Listen to Gautier. Oh, the orgy, giving to the winds its heaving breasts, red with kisses. The orgy shaking out its perfumed hair upon its bare shoulders, dancing, singing, shouting, holding one hand out to this man and the other to that one. The orgy, hot courtesan, that yields readily to every fancy, that drinks punch and laughs, that stains the cloth in its gown, that dips its garland of flowers in a bath of malmsey wine. The ribald orgy, showing its foot and its leg, letting its heavy head fall to right or left. The quarrelsome, blaspheming orgy, quick to snatch its stiletto from the garter. The quivering orgy, that has only to stretch out its wand and turn an idiot into a poet, and a poet into an idiot. The orgy that duplicates our being and sends fire running through our veins, sets diamonds on our eyes and rubies on our lips. The orgy, the only poetry that is possible in these prosaic days. The casino orchestra was squeaking, the couples reeking, airs were lively like those of the girls. One temptress asked me to give her a good time, and my watch, another charmer wanted my gold charm, but discretion was the better part of virtue and valor. To escape with money and morals, we slid downhill after throwing them a few shillings to buy religious tracts, to make tracks in a different direction. In town, a crowd stood watching two women fighting and shaking their fists and naked breasts at each other, till the sweet milk of kindness turned to sour hate. I went to a local banker to change some money. He was not in his office or home, but his charming daughter was. We exchanged Christmas courtesies in coin. She said she disliked our high American exchange, the color line in United States, and praised the fact that blacks and whites in St. Lucia ate, slept, and grew up together. I was sorely tried, for a long time resisted temptation, but eventually succumbed to the enticements of this Eve's daughter. She made me drink a glass she had filled with old French rum, syrup, lime juice, and other good things. I can't remember, except that it was eloquent of the time, place, and occasion. O tempora, O Morris! How blessings brighten as they take their flight! I write with a glass of water near by, in spite of the Horatian dictum that songs are not able to live long or please that are written in draughts of water. But I am writing prose, not poetry. The guidebook asserts that modest sleeping accommodations can be found in this island. If so, it is one of the few places in the West Indies where, by day and night, the traveler is offered sleeping accommodations far removed from sleep or modesty. Cricket is popular in the Castries, but not the bedbug and cockroach. If one is socially inclined, there is many a black beauty whose backsteps take hold on hell. One is accosted noon and night. Both traffic in the West Indies is not always legitimately commercial. At different isles girls come aboard to sell beads, fruit, and themselves. A ship is often delayed in getting these moral derelicts and strumpet stowaways put off. Do not be surprised if at various ports men board the ship and invite Americans going ashore for the night to come and stay with their sisters, a hospitality quite Mexican and Latin American. This is old stuff to observing travelers, but not often referred to by the average writers and lecturers on the West Indies, who profoundly inform you, the sky is blue, the grass green, and the water wet. True, but Columbus discovered that. Is there nothing else to describe? End of section 6.